Fraggle, decided he's gonna call me Moomin. You're sitting on a platinum album here. What's going on? I got a second album out here that the whole world is waiting for. Yeah, I heard of you, man. The camera, yeah, I know you, man. The label didn't back me. Get your titties out, get your battery out, get your gunny out, get the money, gold. Which should have meant top of the pops, which would have changed everything. Hey! That's one of the reasons why they hated us getting into hip hop, man.
But then Monie went, and you say you kind of felt bad and disappointed about the way she went.
I really would like to be on this. If you stand in my face and say something wrong, you're gonna have boop with the mic.
And we had a little argument there.
I'm not going to the pub with you. I'm not having a couple lines of Charlie with you. I'm not chasing panty with you.
Welcome back to the 521 DocuChat. Another week and another guest. This time, a close friend of mine. Just one of many who paved the way for all who followed in their footsteps over the last 4 decades. We go way back, almost 40 years, and work our way into the present. Delve into his recording career, his ups and downs within the music industry, and much more. But before we begin, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive the notifications, like, share, and get involved in the comment section below. And now, I'd like to welcome to the 521 DocuChat one of my favorite MCs, my personal favorite MCs, Dett Incorporated, Mr. Subtraction himself, the one and only, the true legend that is MC Mell'O. What's going on, bro?
Bless my brother.
Good to see you here, finally. Oh, my days.
Thank you for having me here. I know you've wanted me here for a long time, for years, and I've wanted to be here for years. Just so people know, for years I've been saying, B, I want to do it, it's got to be right, it's got to be right. But this is the right time, man, so I'm happy to be here, man. Let's get into this thing.
Right, so we all know MC Mell'O for all the legendary stuff that he did back in the days. All the years that I've known you, I know very little about you before Covent Garden, before you got into the whole hip-hop thing. So do you want to talk us through some of those things?
Yeah, okay. Let's just go from the get-go, because we're talking about influences as well, right? What influenced me, what affected me to move towards the music thing or anything like that. What was the things from my young age that stimulated me? And so we have to start from the beginning, which is like, my father was a pastor, my mother was very active in church. She was also like the leader of the choir for many years, you know. And I bring this up because from my earliest memories, you know, like going to the church was part of it. Like a gospel church, the particular type of church is the New Testament Church of God. And it's based in Brixton, St. Saviour's Church based in Brixton. So that's a big influence, because from there you've got, especially with the music, the choir, the instrument, the pianists, the drummers, the guitarists, we all grow up together as great friends. And church is a place where a lot of musicians cut their teeth and develop, and a lot of singers go through that whole schooling of being able to have amazing voice control and singing range and heart and soul. So I grew up as a little kid amongst some of the greatest choirs, like Kicking It in London and stuff, right? And as a kid, I was in the choir as well. That's a major influence, man. That's a major thing that affects and leaves a kind of an imprint that actual live music and stuff is quite normal, because I've seen it all the time. I'm in it. And the musicians were my friends. We all grew up together. So that's a major thing. I don't necessarily talk about it so much, but you can look at how many other, like, you know, singers, man, like R&B singers, over here and in America, so many of them came through the church. Didn't necessarily go to music school, they went to the school in church, right? So that's a big part for me. And then with my family, I got older siblings, 2 older sisters, an older brother and a younger brother. And the younger brother was a hardcore, dedicated sound man from when he was little, Daddy Kelly. And my elders were like hardcore, like soul heads, boogie heads, like, you know, R&B, soul and funk and boogie. So as a little kid, I'm seeing all these vinyls and stuff, you know, which was obviously Earth, Wind and Fire and everybody like that, right? Michael Jackson and everything. And I used to play their records and that at my own risk, right? I'm a kid. But I remember once, man, I put some of their records, I'm a little kid, right? Maybe I shouldn't have been playing with it, I don't know. I put some of them behind the heater, right? That's what I'm telling you, I'm a youth, like single digit age. And they melted up, man. Like, oh man, I got in trouble with my big sister.
Do you remember what record it was?
I definitely remember some Earth, Wind and Fire. I think early Jackson, Michael Jackson.
So which one did you murder?
Man, there wasn't one.
Oh, it was a load of them.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I forgot all about that too. Just sit down here. But so yeah, my family, you know. So we're talking, you know, nursery, primary school, right? And even in primary school, there was the Metropolitan Police. They would have a dancing thing that I think was the Metro Police was sponsored it for school kids and all that. And I remember, you know, I must have been about 10, and I entered that. I didn't win, but again, it was that thing of going forward and being in music and doing show like I was 9, 10. And I still remember it very much. I had to dance in front of the school. You get what I mean? So, yeah, these early memories that just come to mind that a lot of people might not necessarily know.
So your path into music started really early before you even, I guess, knew what music was.
Yeah, my mother, my mum, she always had a piano and she played, and she used to play piano from she was young in Jamaica, so there was always a piano in the house. But this is the thing about it, right? I used to play, but I didn't get into it properly. So there's even time when I had lessons, right? And I hated the lessons. I was good at them, but I hated them. It's like, you got to sit down here and do this over and over again. And I had like my music teacher for that was, you know, like a kind of elderly, proper English woman. No, not like that. Put your fingers here. That's better. And so that got to a point where I was like, oh, damn it. Do you know what I'm saying? But then my godbrother, who lives 5 rows down, the whole family are musical. In fact, my big godbrother is Patrick Booth. And in the 70s and 80s, he blew America away with his R&B. You know, Patrick Booth. And all of the big American R&B stars used to bigging him up. He was that level, right? So his younger brother, my godbrother, Tony, who sings, actually, Tony Booth sings on a couple of my records. He sings on From the Heart. And sings on a couple of them. But he would just, every kind of music or instrument and stuff was natural. So we used to jam together kind of thing and stuff. That was also a big influence. This is where this is when you're so young, you ain't allowed to go out to play far away because you're too young. But you can go to your family on the same road and find things to do. So that's yeah.
I find that really interesting as well with the music teacher.
Yeah.
Because I reckon that was probably the first official sightings of you as a rebel that turned into hip hop. Because that's what we did. We rebelled.
Yeah, but you know, that was probably more stubbornness or I didn't want to do it, right? But the school...
That's the rebel, though.
Yeah. They saw something in me that I didn't know was in me, right? Because I didn't know and I didn't link to it, it felt like I'm having to do this thing that isn't fun. Yeah? I think back now and I'm like, man, I really regret not continuing because when you're going to learn a musical instrument, it's a big struggle at first, but you get to a point where you get a breakthrough. And when you get that breakthrough, it's like now music takes you. You start creating new things, new chords, new things that, you know what I mean? I didn't get to that point. I could read with both and play with both hands. That's what they wanted me to be doing. But I forgot about all of that.
It's nice to hear that because, again, as long as I've known you, I never knew none of that stuff you just discussed. And talking of none of that stuff that you discussed, I didn't know about your dad being a pastor as well.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make this comparison, and you don't have to comment on it, right? But I just want to say, obviously we all know where Westwood's dad's background was and everything as well.
Yeah, he was a vicar, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had kind of similar
Yeah,
parenting, I guess.
kind of similar, but very different outcomes for the sons of a preacher man, huh?
Yeah,
So,
I
you
mean, the
know,
stuff that we've been hearing over the last few years.
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, it's deep, and no one doubts it.
this is one of the things that I really liked about you as an artist, because at the time when there was a lot of ego-driven lyricism and stuff like that, you came in straight with the consciousness.
You know why the conscious thing was there, right? Obviously, there's the church background, yeah? But we grew up in Battersea, everybody of that generation. We have to remember that we're Maggie Thatcher's children, right? Everything's getting cut and all that, right? But the thing is, you also got South Africa, apartheid South Africa, in full power, and you got the BBC and everybody saying, hey, it's great. Just like, well, they're changing now, but initially, after the 7th of October, all the media was like, yeah, Israel has a right to defend itself. Yeah, they can murder thousands of children and babies. Do you know, for example, the biggest number age group have died the most is between the ages of 5 and 9. So I'm bringing this up, right, is because there's been whole revolutions around the world with young people having a revolution inside themselves and a revolution of thinking. You know, Gil Scott Heron, the revolution will not be televised. A lot of people didn't know what he meant. He said it won't be televised because it's a revolution in your mind that others can't see, right? So with the apartheid thing going on, this made us conscious. The sound system, Rasta, church, everybody was like, apartheid is an evil, you must be against it. So this brought up something to truly be rebelling against and having something, you know, there's a reason it's called colonialism and all of these things. And this is something you've got to be able to push against, right? So none of us had been grown up with, like, have placards. We grew up with the voice, yeah? You say what you need to say. So back in them times, apartheid, NF, BNP, you know, cuts, all of these things, black people were very conscious. When Bob Marley said, get up, stand up for your rights, he wasn't saying something that no one knew. He was echoing what we're doing. So even from that young age, that's something there. I marry that with what's going on right now in Gaza and other places. Because the whole world can see it now with social media and the whole world is waking up. I'm saying, like, can you imagine the kind of, the level of consciousness or political commentary that, like, MCs and rappers and singers and poets are going to be coming out with over the next few years on the back of this? They're going to push the other narrative. They're born to push the other narrative. We've always had them push the other narrative.
Which
and
is
that's
why guys
we
like
push our
us,
narrative.
yeah.
There you go. And that's the thing, like, they feed us. You push back against, you push us. You're doing wickedness and try to push us. Well, push back. That's how it is. That's one of the reasons why they hated us getting into hip hop, man. Yeah? They hated it because they saw we're pushing against big things, global ideologies. These little kids are giants in the making.
And in the words of Rodney P, unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Unstoppable. And you can't blame them for trying. And they can stop some. But it's not an individual thing. This is a mass thing. The mass is unstoppable. You feel me? Some people might drop down, it don't matter. It's a mass that's moving and picking up momentum and weight and power and purpose. You know what I mean? And that's hip hop in a nutshell. And when you're a kid and you start getting introduced to stuff like this, come on, man. Little boy child, you're gonna be like, what, you seeing big man standing up on the back of that, you're like, okay, I'm feeling this.
We used to have these conversations 35 years ago, 40 years ago.
That's right.
We were seeing it from like teenage years.
Man.
That's the reason why, you know, you did what you did with your music, put the messages out. I stood on the streets and sold records independently because we were fighting against the system.
Man.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is as well, bro, is when we all like 13, 14, 15 and we're getting into this, right? Into hip hop culture, people, if you think about it, if you go back and then you look now, it's like, what, 40 years, right? More than that. But you see, people we met at 13 or 14, it's their personality. They were being authentic. We were being real. And to this age, it's still, he's the same as when he was 14, 15. Okay, he's got life in personality the same. So you had some people who were like about confrontation and seeing how, that's the battlers. Their mentality today is still the same, you know what I mean? Not in a negative way. Like their mentality is, they're the fighter mentality. So let's go for it. You had the others who are the thinkers. You had the thinkers and the speakers. You had the silent observers who saw everything. And you think about, as we've gone on, those characters have stayed the same, the personalities have stayed the same. You know, people wasn't trying to be something completely different to what they were. Hip-hop culture itself was saying celebrate your uniqueness or celebrate your realness or your authenticity, right? When people say keep it real, what they meant was be truthful, be authentic. Authentic self is the self that other people respect and believe to be who you truly are, what you're truly about.
And somehow years later, people use that term to keep it fake.
Yeah, brother.
Jesus, they switched it all up, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, look, the word woke, it's, I cringe when I hear people using that. Because I remember when being awake and waking up to all of the social ills, political ills, the racism, the economic ills, being awake, you waking up, man, you're no longer sleeping. But right now, boy, people are napping and sleeping. You know, we call it neeping. They're neeping hard, all right? Sometimes waking up can be a shock, like someone's throwing a bucket of ice cold water on you, right? But you've been sleeping too damn long, so wake the F up. It's happening. Here we go. They're always going to change words, change terms for the advantage of others. But that's the thing about authenticity. It comes back to the real. It has to. The fake has to perish, and what is true has to remain. That's just the way it is.
But your journey into hip-hop, basically, you started noticing there was Covent Garden happening.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say something, and maybe you can disagree with what I'm about to say, but I keep hearing people talking about Covent Garden like it was the Mecca, which to us it was.
Yeah.
However, we can't forget that while it was going on in Covent Garden, it was everywhere else.
That's right.
In Manchester, Cardiff, I know people that were there. There was people in Kent.
Yeah.
There was people all over the place. So, you know, everyone deserves their props for being part of that, because if it was just in Covent, it would have died a death.
Yeah.
Yeah? What's your take on that?
I agree with you. If it was just Covent, because if it was just Covent, it probably would have got toxic at some point and just become horrible.
Well, can I be honest here?
Yeah.
I think it already was, which is why I left.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of, it was at times definitely that. Some people got run away from Covent on pain of violence and stuff, right? People got bullied up in there. Other people, you know, it had a toxic side to it, but it also had a thing where it says you need to rise up to this thing, toughen up. People respect you, and you show that you got a backbone too. So it was a bit of a proving ground, you know. It wasn't always nice for people, always, you know. There was some wrong-uns there, you know, definitely. And some of those went on later to be big wrongs.
Amazing things.
Went on to be big wrongs, and some went on to do amazing things, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the most prominent one that I can think of that went, I'm not saying he's a wrong one, but Mark Monero. He went on to do massive things.
Not a wrong one.
No, I'm saying he's not a wrong one. He went on to do massive things. But, you know,
I mean, look, Mark Monero,
but there was loads
Gary
of them.
Beadle.
There was loads of them.
Yeah.
Loads.
These are actors, you know. Gary Beadle was from City Limits crew, okay? Two rappers, kind of modeled themselves a little bit off of KK Rockwell and Little Ronnie C when they was in Wild Style, like with the gangster suits and stuff, right? So, you know, Double Trouble.
Can we just do that for a second?
What's that?
If you want to know
the
real deal about the
two,
let us tell you we're Double Trouble Girl, and we're doing it just for you. Now, people, clap your hands.
Okay, let's stop there. But yeah, man, I mean, you know, Covent Garden brought out some serious people, But some of those people were already serious when they came to Covent Garden as kids, you know? People like Mark Monero, Danny France, that's just too many names to mention. Too many. Right? But in a way, if you came down to Covent Garden as a little kid and you ventured all the way from your home to come Covent Garden every week, you already was one of the kids who can leave, you're not going to be stuck in your area all the time. You know, you might have had to take 2 trains and a bus to get there, and you would have to bunk it all the way. You ain't got no money, so you got to try and scam your way all the way to Covent and scam your way back, right?
But we didn't all stay in Covent Garden. We went to Leicester Square. We went to Soccer Scene in Carnaby Street.
Charing Cross.
All over. Like, and Charing Cross. That's setting
Trafalgar
there.
Square, everything. We was hanging out in Soho. So when we say Covent, it's over years really. The initial years, the early years, everyone's based in Covent, really young. You know, you venture out to Leicester Square down there, the Strand, whatever, right? But as the years went on, you start to have a bit more ownership of the actual area, right? Like, this is our grounds, like, you know what I mean? That kind of thing, you know what I mean? And I remember one time, you know, man's getting very confident, like people's getting confident. So man's moving around Soho like, this is our manor. Oh, yeah, well, the Chinese man have come out and politely made man understand pretty clearly Chinatown is not your manor. You understand? Lots of stories like that. Yeah. But Covent was like a kind of mecca for a lot of kids. It was. And because it's in London and it's the centre of London,
a lot of people came from outside as well.
And because as well, there was footage, TV footage, news footage of like sidewalk. You know, the first time I saw sidewalk breaking and all that was some footage on a TV show in Covent Garden. Same with Micron. Micron, you know, Dion, like DJ Ron, like Ron and these guys, they had baseball suits or uniform. I saw this stuff on telly, I saw this in videos. And also saw Basil, Clive and Bionic on Esther Ranson's show, That's Life. And they were popping and doing robot, like in Leo Gamelli tops, I think, or whatever, right? I saw this in the same year that I first went to Covent. I saw Tick and Talk on TV, the robots, Tick and Talk. It's amazing, right? Yeah. And so,
obviously, you have to know Tick and Talk.
You have to. So there was nothing going to stop me coming to Covent. And I realised when I got there, everyone else that was there, the same thing like that. There's nothing going to stop me coming. So we come in there to discover what is this about. And we start making discoveries and within ourselves and that. And really, really quickly, people got down and started doing their thing. When you're that young, you're thinking it's spread out over years. Whereas like the first year was just that major spring and summer was the big one, of 83 for me. And boom, you know what you're in and you know what you're doing. And even at that time, you know, you've got other cats up in Nottingham. You got the Rock City Breakers guy. Yeah. You got like Smack 19. You got
the
Broken
Glass.
Broken Glass. Yeah. You've got crews everywhere doing it just like we're doing it.
This is what I'm saying. I just wanted to make a point of saying you can't forget those guys. I've said it so many times.
Never forget them.
Because the thing is, when sometimes I hear the people in Covent Garden talking, it's almost like nobody else existed.
Yeah.
They existed.
And not only existed, man, they licking with resonance.
Charing Cross, there was a battle between, was it London All Stars and, was it Broken Glass or Rock City?
I think this might be related
on the Saturday when the police raided the place.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is related to when Westwood had the jam over Jubilee Gardens, right? Because I remember Smack Night, Broken Glass came, all the crews from all over Britain came down that day, right? And that was the day when I saw, there was a battle. Definitely London Man was battling Broken Glass on the stage when it was raining and there was no music. I believe there was no music because people had already been stealing all the speakers and all the sound equipment. Okay? Now, I remember this because it's the first time I seen this, right? Broken Glass. I think 3 men went on their hands and knees, so their backs are level. and their baddest b-boy, I can't remember his name, the light-skinned brother, he came and did windmills on their back with a backspin on their backs. The b-boy, the style king from Broken Glass, like Benji's another bad man from
Benji,
Broken Glass, right?
yeah.
But he kept it, thank God, he kept it on his feet, like the popping.
And he's still in the art and everything.
Yeah,
He's still there
yeah,
active.
he's a dangerous hombre, man.
Yeah.
Big up Benji. But the brother came and done mills on on man's back and done a backspin and popped out and landed in the freeze. And I'm telling you, right, people are people. So certain London man might think that they're the best. Listen, man, Nottingham had some monsters, like monsters, breakers and poppers, ridiculous. Some of them are past now, you know, big up Sly. And those from, you know, Rock City who are not here no more. Love to Rock City crew, man, you know what I'm saying? Nottingham, love to you guys.
What about Kent? Because I used to see quite a lot of breakers and poppers.
See, I ain't familiar with Kent. You are, you know what I mean? All I know is as long as there's young human beings in Kent when b-boying is happening, there has to be some dangerous mans and that there as well. It was everywhere. Like, so I remember when Paris City Breakers came over to Covent. If any breakers, poppers, rappers from the state, anything, they come to London, they're going to come Covent. Poppin' Pete, Sugar Pop, they came Covent. Like, you know, what them guys called? Break Machine or something? Yeah. They came Covent and everyone's come Covent. But I think the main thing, and I want to make sure everyone knows this, yeah? Like, Covent Garden still had the London braggadocio thing about it, right? Certain men from other neighborhoods, other cities, didn't have London arrogance. They didn't need that. London
but they delivered the skill,
though. They delivered the goods, brother.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah? And I'm going to tell you this straight. When it comes to hip-hop jams and stuff, there was great hip-hop jams in London. But I will never forget when we had to travel up to Nottingham, when we traveled to Manchester for all days, right? When we traveled to Sheffield, when we loved the all days outside of our city in them other cities, where we meet with other b-boys, other jazz
This is what I'm
dancers
saying.
and stuff,
You see
right?
everything
Other
going
boogie
on.
boys. Yeah, and that's why we know, because I know me, Basil, others, then we go back to Nottingham next week and we're staying over
at the next breakers house.
Yeah. And then we're staying over these ones for a couple of nights, and then we're moving over to this crew for a couple of nights.
You see, that's the beauty of hip-hop, though, isn't it? It brought so many of us together.
Yeah, so we could go anywhere. And we could go anywhere in London, and I'm going to know there's a b-boy, there's somebody in the hip-hop. I can go anywhere like that, right? But we could also go to other cities, man. And you're going to link up with people, and then, man, know you in my city, you're good. Like one time I was in Nottingham, I was staying over at Sly, me and Basil, and there was a party. I said, yo, we're going to this house party. So go to the house, there's a home, there's a party. The same, you know, big speaker boxes and stuff, right? No carpet, the furniture's gone. Everyone's doing their thing. Now, man's over here, I'm in Nottingham, man's like, yeah, man, you know, we got you. You're with us, we're all blessed, of course, right? I'm a guest. I remember one guy come, we used to stand in the passageway, and he was like, yeah, man, you're London. I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, man, I hear about London mans talking like this. I'm like, yeah. And he looked like a nerdy kind of guy, right? He goes, yeah, man, just want you to know, innit? Just pull out this, like long barrel. Yeah, man, you know what I mean? I'm not from London kind of thing, but I just want you to know, innit? And I was just looking at this guy like, what's
the point of that?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, I'm just saying, and then man's like, yeah, no, don't worry, man. He's saying he's got your back. You're his guest.
Oh, right. For a minute, you're thinking they're flipping on you. But
well, I just thought, what are you doing? Yeah? But anyway, just the example of when you go to other places, when I go to Edinburgh, I'm looked after. I don't need a hotel. I got people. And that's
always been the case. Like wherever we go as artists, as whatever people show you that respect, you've paid your dues.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
There's bare love and togetherness with this art form and this culture. It brings us together like that.
Actually, talking of paying dues, there are certain people that I feel they don't get mentioned enough. And, you know, their beginnings were pretty similar to ours and everything before us, you know. And I have to apologize to Family Quest because I did a track called UK Hip Hop years ago, right? And I forgot to mention their name. And I should have really mentioned their name. But you know what it was? Is because the names I mentioned was all the people that I was familiar with personally. Yeah. So even though I knew about them, I didn't know them.
Yeah.
So I apologize to Family Quest. I should have put your name in there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know, you might not put their name in there, but others put their name in there, so the name got put in there. You know what I'm saying? With proper love on that, because these are foundational people as well.
Yeah. It was just in a song in a moment you're writing, and sometimes you miss things. Like, you know, when someone puts you on the spot and says, "Do you have any shout outs?" And you mention everybody apart from your son and your wife. It's that kind of thing.
It happens, man.
Yeah, it happens. But there's other people, you know. There was, I mean, Covent. We talked about Covent a little bit. Obviously, there was the stuff that was going on at Charing Cross in the, you know, just above the escalators where there was the row of shops and everything. We had that.
Right.
We had
the
that
dark glass and the brown.
Yeah, but that's where I swear I remember. I'm pretty sure it was Rock City against London All Stars Battle Day.
Yeah, I'm saying that I think that might have been over that weekend.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because everyone was here.
Yeah.
And it was kicking off anywhere without music.
And then the police raided as well.
Oh, hell yeah, the police raided.
And the police station was right next to it.
Jubilee Gardens, like, this was like something like the Greater London Council or something sponsored it. So the whole of Jubilee Gardens, this park has got speakers everywhere and equipment. You saw everything get clapped that night, Westwood's night. Clap. It wasn't even the night yet. It started to rain, and it was like, it didn't stop. And I don't know who did it first, but everyone they were all leaving with equipment. And the crazy thing was, the music stopped, it's raining, but the battles never stopped.
Yeah, we didn't care about
Everyone
rain.
kept going.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, we've come all the way down here, what? Because the thing's been called off because of all of this. We're not going, nah.
We were young. We would be out there in T-shirts, rain, sleet, snow, everything. We wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like
no coats.
We had a different level of passion.
Yeah.
You know, the passion was really,
and I think you should have a healthy obsession.
Of course.
Yeah, a healthy 100%. Obsession is good.
But you yourself were also a dancer.
Yeah, I was a popper and a bit of a locker. And, you know, I remember seeing Tony Basil show, Tony Basil Take Two. She's a choreographer and stuff. And in there was a clip where you had Poppin' Pete. He's wearing like a white and red or yellow and red jumpsuit with a big afro, and he's dancing to Talking Heads, Cross-Eyed and Painless. And you remember, like, there's no internet, right? So you got a video, you got to make sure when it comes on telly, you press record in time. And I got that, and I just played it over and over and practiced everything he was doing in there, right? So a lot of us from London, at least, a lot of the poppers were more like Cali type of bass, like Oakland, Los Angeles, California type of poppers, right? And the trend. I had myself a Jerry curl and all that, like Boogaloo Shrimp, okay? So the point is that the poppers in Covent and London, and I was one of them, it was more the LA kind of Poppin' Pete kind of Boogaloos type of thing, because that was our influence. And there's a few other cats that I have to mention. What's his name? It's gone. This brother came on from LA, and he used to be dancing with Jeffrey Daniels, right? Damon, and you can look on YouTube for Damon Frost popping, and he came over, and this guy influenced everybody, especially people like Danny Francis and others. And Damon was just the most amazing popper, and I think that's one of the reasons that London poppers were different from everyone else, because you have people like Damon and that. And when Jeffrey Daniels came over to London and they came to Covent, it was popping and showing people stuff. So these are all important things, because these are foundational things for me. Me as a dancer, that was, again, a massive obsession. Before I was a rapper, I was writing rhymes, but I weren't letting anyone hear them too tough. But then, like, in school, I was known as the best popper in my school. And then
what was your name?
Yeah, everyone knew me as Moomin, or Moomin Popper. And I got the name Moomin either from Denzel or Fraggle. And they call me Moomin, right? Because like at 14, 15, you know, everyone's got chubby fat, right? So I had chubby cheeks. And the Moomin trolls, like, they got chubby cheeks. And so I think somebody with the name Fraggle decided he's going to call me Moomin. And I remember going, you can't call me Moomin, I know that name. Nah, Moomin, it's got to be Moomin. Nah, you got to be. And then Denzel comes in, it's Moomin. And they just kept it going. And there was no escaping it. And so I just ended up being like embracing that name, you know.
Why didn't you carry that on through your MC career?
Because how the name Mell'O came about. This is important, right? Because Covent Garden people still call me Moomin, right? But the Mell'O name, that's because, like, you know, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, that whole Message album, I knew every lyric of every track of it, right? Of every song. And I'm sure that came out in 82, because it was 82 that I was playing that in my headphones all the time, at least 82. And of all the rappers, really, man, Grandmaster Mell'O, the name, the first name that I took for the rap thing was Grandmaster Mell'O, right? And then the Grand got taken off, so it was Master Mell'O. And then the Master got taken off. So I'm an MC now, right? So put the MC Mell'O. And it used to be spelled with a W, all right? Mell'O. And
I saw it on the first record.
yeah, on the first record, we had our crew, the Juss Bad crew. It was DJ Pogo, Monie Love, Sparky Ski, and myself. Juss Bad crew.
And you only did one record, right? But
we did one record.
But double A side.
Yeah, double A came out on Tough Groove, which is Ricky Reynolds' label.
And that was Freestyle and Proud.
Yeah, and on Freestyle, Monie's got 2 verses on that. That was Monie Love's first ever recording.
I just want to clarify something for a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Because at the time, there was, like, she was one of the most obvious American accents.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Explain why.
Yeah. So Simone, like, she went over to New York when she was young, maybe, I don't know, 13. Because and she went to school over there. And she was staying with her cousins, the Britton twins. So we met her cousins and stuff, 2 twins, 2 girls. Like, when we came over to the States, we met them, hung out with them. So that's who she was living with when she was in school in New York. I think she must have been in school in Brooklyn. And that's where she really learned to rap, right? So when Monie come back to the UK, right, and we all meet up, because we've all known each other from we were little. So when she come back to the UK, we're all rapping. We're all doing our thing. We're going Covent and stuff. And then she starts spitting, because we'll all go to the same adventure playground, York Gardens Adventure Playground, Battersea Park Adventure Playground, you know, or we're in Dett Estate where she lives, and Swift lives there and stuff. And she's spitting fire, yeah? And we're up in her flats, up at the top, just hours, all of us, Rodney P, myself, Swift rappers, the No Parking MCs, and other heads, and Simone, and we're there for hours every day, just freestyling and lyrics we wrote. We turned, you know, we're cutting our teeth, we're getting better, but none of us had ever made a record yet by that time. And I'm a person from going Covent all the time, and Monie's like, yo, man, I want to come Covent. Huh? I'm like, yeah, you should come. She's like, boy, I can't, my mom ain't gonna let me go Covent, right? What's Monie? I don't know. Monie, maybe she's 14 that time, 14, 15, you want to go Covent as a girl? And I was like, nah. I had to go up to see her mum and dad and assure her mum that I will keep her safe, I will not leave her side, and I will bring her home safe, yeah? And I meant it, because I was scared of her mum.
I think the only girl I saw at the time in Covent, there was Ziggy.
Yeah, Sahara.
Sahara. And, what's the other one? Genevieve.
Yeah, damn, Genevieve.
Genevieve.
Yeah.
Right? And then I met Vanessa, and Vanessa was friends with Melanie, and I got Vanessa to come down. And then Melanie as well was there.
Wow, wow.
So I met them in Lewisham, and they were
You
north
know,
somewhere.
there was other girls down there, like Lazy Lady, for example. Like,
Okay, I don't think I ever met her.
no, Lazy was a popper, a breaker, everything, man. And also you had people like Linda and Fleur and that. Like,
Oh, Fleur, oh my God.
Like they weren't rappers or anything, too tough.
Yeah.
But they were just like our sisters. They were just down. Just a lot of love, yeah?
So obviously, Monie's accent was because of her upbringing. It wasn't because she was UK trying to be Americanized.
No.
That is
She learned
genuinely
to
her.
rap there.
Yeah.
And she had to be spitting with other New York and Brooklyn heads and cutting her teeth. So she came back ready formed.
But can we just validate that the first record that Monie appeared on was Juss Bad?
Yeah, the first record that Monie appeared on was Juss Bad Crew.
How does that make you feel all these years later seeing the
It makes
success?
me proud because it was my first record too. It was Pogo's first record. It was Sparky's first record. We were a crew together that did this, right? Look, the first time Monie got brought on a mic in a jam, I brought her on that mic, right? The first time she came on stage to perform on stage, I brought her on the stage. And I might bring her on that stage. First time she come to Covent, I brought her to Covent, right? The first time we went out of the country doing shows, yeah, we did that together. I had done some before, I think, but I remember we was touring Holland and other places together. And then when Monie got her deal, because we was a crew, and then she's female. As far as I'm concerned, she's the best female rapper, right? At least in Britain. But then taking away female, she's one of the best rappers. She's good looking. She's charming, got character. She's very likable. So from a business point of view, she's very sellable as a product. You know what I mean? And so what happened was Monie, she was scouted, I think, by Cool Tempo. I know that Steve Finan, who was our manager at Juss Bad, he became her manager, and she had opportunities. So she got a deal with, I think it was Cool Tempo, right?
I remember the weekend that deal happened because I saw her at Café de Paris.
Yeah.
And she told me.
Yeah.
So that was a good moment.
But in honesty, also at the time, it was a little bit like we got dumped a bit.
Really?
If I'm going to be honest. Yeah, because you see, like, our mentality, we looked out for each other hard. And this situation was, she got a deal by herself, and Pogo was able to be a DJ, but me and Sparky were just,
what do we do?
Well, yeah, we kind of got just left out there kind of thing. So, but it is what it is.
Did that create bad vibes?
No, man, I love Simone. It was a little bit disappointing because it's like, right, you didn't even look, even looking out for us a bit at all. Didn't even. How about speaking to the label a bit? Because that's what I do, right? But we're not all the same like that. Simone has to make her way, and this is one very determined sister, very driven, man. That's why she's big the way she is, because she's just driven. And she was always going to be big like that. So there's no bitterness or nothing like that. But, that's that early stage. I brought her to come for the first time, brought her on the mic for the first time in public, brought her stage for the first time, and all of that kind of stuff, first records. And that's important, I think, That was a first for all of us.
Just going back to the early days, just really quickly, we had all the clubs that were going on that really shaped us into who we became. You had Spats, you had Wag Club, you had Lyceum, you had Electric Ballroom. I missed that Stetsasonic show at Electric Ballroom. I was outside, they wouldn't let me in.
It was one of the best shows ever, man. Stetsasonic, one of my favorite bands. Look, when we came to New York in 1989 for the seminar, and we're in the Marriott Marquis. There's loads of us, Pogo, Cutmaster Swift, DJ J, DJ Business, me, like Andy, like...
Is that Andy Cam?
Yeah, okay. Andy Cam. Just tons of us, man, tons of us. And we had to... Oh, and Oris, man. So we had to... there's about there was about 19 to 23 of us from London, UK, and we was in the Marriott Marquis, and everyone's registering for their rooms. And I'm looking, man, and it's Sonic. You know what I'm saying? It's Sonic. And Daddy weren't there, but like Delight's there. And I had to go and talk to them, man. I had to go and talk to Sonic. Now, at that same moment there, I hear someone come and say, we hear someone go, all right, mates, what's going on, mates? And we turned around and it's Keithy E, the guru. Yeah, guru's like, what's up, mates? Like that, like giving it the Cockney. And he's a friend with Oris, because our guy Oris was he left the UK, living in America, and he was cool with like Gangster. So it's like, these are the English friends you've been telling us about. So here comes the Guru rocks in Cockney and giving love, man. And the whole of their crew were just showing love. You have to say, Guru was so cool, man. A real good man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
it's sad what
DJ
happened to him
Premier
as well,
man. DJ Premier, Primo got to be one of the coolest humans out there alive, you know what I mean? He has to be. Because if there's anyone who has the right to have a big ego, it would be him.
They took you on tour, didn't they?
He killed his ego a long time. Huh?
They took you on tour as well.
Yeah, we was on tour with them.
We'll talk about a little bit about that.
J-Roo as well, J-Roo the Damager, man. That tour was amazing. I got to just say that for all of us. And to this day, J-Roo and Premier still talk about that tour as one of the greatest tours.
The importance of Spats.
Yeah, Spats. Yeah, Spats is incredible. Like, before Spats, you know, you go in school, right? So you go to those under 18 clubs, things, innit? That close at 7 in the evening or something, right? So we used to go to Cinderella's and these kind of places, right? I can't remember the names of everything, but we used to go to these kind of clubs, right? But when you went to Spats, you're talking about middle of the day on a Saturday, right? Lunchtime to whatever. I can't remember the times. What was it, like 12 till 5, 1 till 5? I don't know.
All I remember was it was afternoon.
Yeah.
And I went a few times. I didn't go every time.
Yeah.
And I just remember it being on Oxford Street.
Yeah.
37 Oxford Street, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it was just like a meeting ground for like-minded souls.
Yeah, and everybody was going there. It was quite a small place, not everyone could get in. But that's where battles was happening. That's where we see Family Quest spitting up there. That's where other...
Fingers.
You know what? When I saw Spat, Pogo, Swift, Fingers.
I mean, obviously, it was started by Westwood, right?
It was started by Westwood, and he was carrying it, right? But at least them days, his man's been able to get on the set and do their thing, right? And that was one of the times when I saw Family Quest, and their vibe reminded me of Cold Crush and stuff like that, right? And Funky 4 plus one more, that kind of vibe. And I remember watching them, and that was one of the earliest times when I said, I want to be rapping up there. Like, you know what I mean? Because what they were doing, like, you know, they're kind of showing us you could do this by them doing it, right? And how they did it. And they had character, and they had their routines and everything, and dressed different as well. So, you know, they were strong in what they're doing, and they were confident in what they're doing. And so
they also had the first ever female MC in the UK, Mystery.
Yeah, you know, at least that we know about, right? That was making the noise, yeah?
That's right.
Because, she come out before Simone, right? And you see, like, I know Cookie Crew because they're from Battersea. So when we're going to school, Cookie Crew used to be called the Warm Milk and Cookie Crew. And they dressed in red and yellow. And there was like 17 of them or something, like a whole massive gang of them. And they dressed in red and yellow, and they were all light-skinned, like orange colour, all right? And they're all Battersea girls. And this is the Cookie Crew, man. And like Cookie Crew, Boogie Bunch Battersea again. Boogie Bunch, Bad Man Breakers, you know? Sammy and just... They weren't just DJs. These were B-boys. Before they called Boogie Bunch, they called themselves the Hard Shoe Shufflers because of the shell toes, like, and footwork. So Cookies, Boogie Bunch, we were all together, and we used to be down Clapham Junction, and at night, and hanging out. And I remember there was one time, don't know who had music, a box, speakers, a tape recorder, and there's Boogie Bunch, Summer Cookie Crew. I was there, Rodney P was there, because me and Rodney P, we rapped together for years together.
Because you and Rodney were partners
Yes,
before Rodney was with London Posse.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, right. And I remember one time we were just kicking it in this nice little area in Junction and practicing and hanging out. And then someone opened the window, shut that fucking noise, shut that fucking noise. And there's just this white bread was coming by, just ordinary kind of, and in my memory, he told the guy in the window, close the window, shut the F up, they're having fun. What you gonna say, you say? And I think, to my memory, right, that he started to pull out, like, something, and the man shut the last window. He's like, ah. And he come by and goes, you guys are doing good things, man. You know what I mean? You could be doing worse.
Love it.
And that was, Cooks was there, Boogie Bunch was there, Rodney was there, I was there. Whether other people are going to remember that or not, because we had to be 15-ish, and we still at school. Battersea is kind of crazy, though.
So that guy was an older guy that came along.
Yeah.
So I love when I hear
He
stories
didn't
like
seem
that.
to have nothing to do with music or whatever. He just saw that we're doing good things. This person's complaining, and he's basically shut your mouth
and let them
look at this and shut up.
Yeah, and let them do what they're doing.
Let them do what they're doing. And everyone was tagging up, you know. Tags stay there for years, you know what I mean? They used to be there for years, them kind of things. So.
I know earlier I said that I wanted to mention a few people that I feel like they don't, we know about them, but we don't have to go into no long detail. But just, Richie Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Family Quest I mentioned. Yeah. And I have to say Cosmic Jam.
Absolutely.
He's one guy, and this is the reason why I wanted to say that, because he's one guy that anyone who was there knows. But at the same time, I don't think he gets mentioned enough.
Yeah, you see, Cosmic, I mean, the Most High, like, rest his soul and, enlighten his grave, you understand? This brother, Cosmic, was kind of hardcore. He weren't easy. But if you down, he funny as hell, and he got your back, do or die. But Cosmic was a hard taskmaster because he was like a master. He taught and brought through a lot of DJs. He hardened a lot of them and got their mentality right. People like Pogo, Cutmaster Swift, many others have a lot that they can owe to Cosmic. And he's a man that, everybody passes at the time that's been prescribed for them to pass. And you say some people, man, they left too early. But it's like Cosmic, when he died, it hit everybody hard. But he made such a heavy impact that carried on in how people did their thing, that he was missed, but he was also remembered as well. Like you said, a lot of people don't mention him because Cosmic was early days, real solid, dedicated to those who's around, and impressive with what he'd done. But a lot of people came. A lot of people came later. Yes, a lot of people came later after Cosmic passed. And remember, everyone's filming that. No one's got camera phones, everything. So it's memory. So I think Cosmic influenced a lot of people who went on to be very influential scratch DJs, very influential DJs, who went on to influence other people, like people that Cosmic had influenced and had taught, went on to the New Music Seminar, for example, the Battle for World Supremacy, Pogo, Swift, and Jay, and Business, DJ Business. All of these, we went over there and they took out people, like took out named people, other DJs. So even with that, Cosmic's essence is still alive.
Still, always will be.
Yeah.
You yourself, you were in a number of different crews before you actually went solo and did your thing.
Well, yeah. How it happened with me was, me and Rodney P were each other's first rhyme partnership.
What was the crew name then?
It was just it was Roddy Rock and Master Mell'O, right? And that's what it was, right? And Roddy Rock had, let me tell you something, man.
Belt buckle.
Not just a belt buckle. Man was from head to toe, B-boy, 100%. Like, Man had his shows, okay. He had his Lees, two-tone Lees, right? Man, his belt buckle, Roddy Rock. He had his Goose, okay. Man had his Kango and his Cassels. And Rodney used to stand and walk like, you know when you see graffiti b-boy characters?
He was like, that was it.
Rodney's whole body stance was b-boy, boy. Don't muck about. Don't muck about. And I tell people, the first time I met Rodney, he was 14, right? And we was at Battersea County Youth Club. And I was I was coming there for the first kind of time. And I was outside the youth club. And Rodney came out. And he came and was like, yeah, I've heard of you. And he said my government name. Yeah, I heard of you, man. And I remember looking at this brother, right, thinking, right, because he's a bit tipsy as well. He came, right, yeah, I know you. And I remember thinking, right, this one big brer. Because Rodney is like, when he was 14, it coming like he was the height he is now, but he was bigger boned. So like it was like a big monster coming out at me, and I'm like, so instant friends, man. And then he knew about me because of the popping and stuff, because I was known for it big time. And he's spitting lyrics, and we become firm friends and realize I'm writing lyrics, and we start rhyming together in each other's houses every day, and we were deep like 2 years. And then I've told that story before. It's like the first time we held a mic, warehouse party, Artists Against Apartheid, Jerry Dammers from the Specials. Like I said, I was rocking over the Wild Star music or Dollar Bill. The first time I held a mic in a jam in a public place. And I'm sure that was the first time Rodney held it as well, and Bionic, because we all stood next to each other. And that was the start of tremendous things. And then even with the Rodney Peace situation, so me and him are rhyming together. And then one summer, what happens is Big Audio Dynamite won a rap crew to go on tour with them in Japan and everything like that. I'm not sure who spoke to who. Like, I'm not sure if it went through Bionic was the link, or who was the link, or what management.
I heard it was Sipo.
Okay, that makes sense. So they had to build a crew together, and they built that crew, London Posse. And then I get the news, yeah, I'm not in it, kind of thing. We're sorry, like, this is what it is, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? It's like, it's happened before. Monie's moved to do her thing. Cool, we're all young, that's how it goes. But business...
But the Monie thing was later, though.
No. Wait.
Yeah, the Monie thing was later.
Wait. No.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the Monie thing was later, bro.
Yes, of course it was later, yeah. Not much later.
Not much later.
But it was later, of course, I'm sorry. You're right. Because what happened was business, DJ Business, was like, boy, Moomin, man, you know what I mean? Like, why have we left that there alone? Like, that's not right. But it's like, Pogo, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, Pogo, he's got his rapper, like Sparky, but Pogo, I think that'd be a good match, you guys. So I said, come over, let's talk about it. So walked over to Pogues. We chatted about it. All right, let's go for it. Let's come around your house. Yeah? Went round Pogues' yard. That was it. So he's cutting up, I'm spitting with him. That's it, it's all over. And Sparky was his rapper. And Sparky's let me tell you something. Sparky is a serious MC, bro.
I know.
Seriously.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah, right? Sicker vicar. But Sparky, when Sparky heard what I was doing, Sparky was like, okay, cool. I can focus. Sparky's like, I can focus on the music. You got the lyrics. He's got the turntables. I got the production. And that's what we did. And we was in each other's houses every day, developing. And then I brought Simone in. And then she's around the house. She's involved.
That was the birth of Dett.
We start doing all the shows. And because we have, us four is Juss Bad, and then you've got Cutmaster Swift and the No Parking MCs, right? That's Mike. That's MC Kiss, who's passed away. Like, oh, God bless his soul. MC Storm, which is Swift's little brother, and Cutmaster Swift. And you got Trouble Rap, you got Reinforced Gus, DJ J and MCB. They're over there like in the Camden type of area, like well, it wasn't Camden, it was what's Chalk
Farm.
Chalk Farm, yeah. They'll not be happy I said Camden. Chalk Farm. So these crews like that, and we're all together, and we're doing shows together, we're rocking jams together, and we're visiting each other's houses together. And I'm like, nah, man, you got the Juice crew, and you got other crews like that. And so I said, no, we have to make this crew. We have to make it into something. And so I thought of the name Dett, was determination.
Can I just stop you for a
Yeah.
second? You got to join me on this one. Dett, tremendous, Dett, tremendous.
Now.
Had to do that. Sorry, bro.
That's all blessed, man.
I love that.
That song is called Our Time.
Yeah.
You can just watch it on YouTube or whatever, man, but check it out. So, I said, look, man, we're together. I'm that guy who brings everyone together. So I said, the name that came to my mind is Dett, because them time when you say something is Dett, it means it's brilliant, fantastic, awesome, it's lit. So I put Dett, D-E-T-T, determination, endeavor, total triumph. Incorporated because we all together in this thing, right?
You say incorporated, but then Monie went.
Yeah.
And you say you kind of felt bad and disappointed about the way she went.
Yeah, but it also is like at that time, we'd all been going to countries together, doing shows and concerts. It was a bit of a shock. But Dett Incorporated, and London Posse as well, right? There's also, sorry, I missed that London Posse and Dett Incorporated. So it's a concept that I thought of. We are all together anyway. Let's put a kind of stamp on it. Let's make something official. Let's speak about this in interviews and stuff and magazines and, you know what I mean? Let's get a little brand if we can or whatever.
From an outsider's perspective, I saw that as a huge thing.
Yes.
I was like, Dett Incorporated,
yes.
You got to take it serious.
Yes, so. and it was, and we felt that way to the point where Cutmaster Swift, when he became the winner of the DMC World Scratch DJ Mixing Championship.
89.
Yeah?
89.
He won that in 89.
Yeah.
So when he held it up and he had the mic, he said, this is Dett, determination, endeavor, total triumph. So the whole mixing world knew what Dett was because of the back of this. I'm saying it in my songs, all kind of things. So it was big. But the thing about it was, my brother, I wanted it to be our Juice crew. I wanted us to be known under Dett, on the States to know us.
And it was getting there.
It was.
But what happened?
Well, what happened was that at the end of the day, for example, not everybody was as enthusiastic about it. So maybe for some, it's convenient. It propels them a bit. People can hear more about them through that. For others, it's like you cut me, I bleed that. For others, it was like, okay, they're doing the thing, I'll stay for a while, whatever. You see? It was a bit like that. And I just think at the time when, London Posse, you got to remember London Posse, very independent.
Already, yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know Rodney, if you know Bionic, these are two of the most independent type of brothers you're going to meet. The difference is, though, is like Rodney is independent, but very inclusive, like with everyone. He's a bit of a born leader, like you want to be with him or follow what he's doing, you know what I mean? So they had to forge their thing. And plus London Posse's concept, what it was, it was rugged, it was road, it was their thing. But even with that as a name and that going, we then end up being in Bull management. And so London Posse, Demon Boys, MC Mell'O, we're in Bull management and we're touring the world for years. So you might not be saying Dett Incorporated, but it's still Dett Man's touring together,
Did you ever stop using that name?
No, I've never stopped using it. I've never given it up. But I could say I stopped promoting it.
Why?
Because the main thing really was that, okay, you got Dett Incorporated, like the logo, the brand, the concept, and the ethos. And then you got members. The members maybe fizzled out, do their own thing. But I held on to the concept of Dett Incorporated, right? Because that thing of determination, endeavor, total triumph is the message I think everybody needs. You still hear it in me, I'm talking, right? But it got to the point where life things was going on, other things going on, and I know I could just sit that down for a minute. For when it's time, that could easily be relaunched, branded, and moved out with other artists, newer artists attached, old songs attached, and become a hub where a lot of things can be going on. So I'm like this. Sometimes it's not worth flogging a dead horse and thinking it's going to take you the whole route of Ascot, right? Sometimes you got to be like, the horse is dead. Okay, it has a foal. Let the foal grow up to a big stallion and we can ride that one. You get what I mean? It's things like that.
I remember listening to your early records, and in particular when your Thoughts Released album came out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there was artists like YZ and obviously Master Race and people like that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of putting you in that kind of bracket because of the conscious stuff that you were always talking about. So you were, some people may rhyme foolishness or just look at me. I'm this, I'm that, I'm,
Yeah, no.
But that wasn't you. That was never you.
I could be not like that corny, but I could be about me lyrics too, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I could be a stupid idiot because on my album we got Slips on Some Doodoo.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a whole track about slipping on doodoo.
Yeah.
And then we got DJ Freshwood, who's
Was that Dexter?
That's Dexter, man. That's Dexter, like doing the Freshwood character so good that you can hear it on the record. Like when he finishes at the end, the power of Armageddon. He does this at the end. He's in the sound room in cold storage with a glass cup. It's all closed up, and you hear us through the mic, through the glass going, Rah! You can hear it because he killed it so hard. D to the K. And that D to the K track, Slow Jam.
Yeah, Slow Jam.
Right?
That was on
I'm
BMP.
guested on. Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm a guest on D to the K's track, Slow Jam. And in a way, we came in the studio, I'm sure that was after Public Enemy in Brixton, right? At the O2. And Cold Storage Studio is in Brixton. The corner. So we left from there, and my voice was kind of hoarse from all the shouting for PE and everything, right? I come round to the studio, and Dexter and Can are in there with No Sleep Nigel. No Sleep Nigel. Yeah, and I'm hearing this music, man, for Slow Jam. I'm like, oh my God.
I want on.
I'm like, I really would like to be on this. And you know what? If you don't ask, you don't get, right? So I remember I said to Dexter, like, yo, could I get a verse on this? And Can's the rapper, Dexter's the producer. I don't know Can, I know Dexter. So Dexter and Can spoke, and they came out and said, okay. And then I can't remember. I think I had this lyric already.
This was before. No, this was after you done freestyle.
Yes.
I'm proud. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was in between anything else happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And Busy Rhyming and all that stuff. Because Busy Rhyming came out in '89, right? And
Coming Correct.
I think it might have been the same year, or
the other tracks were Coming Correct and Wise.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Right. Recorded them in '88, came out in '89. And so in the same studio, recorded them in Cold Storage. So asked Dexter, I think, yeah. I said, do it, you can do it. My voice sounded really good. It was like a bit sore. And I had that lyric. I remember when I was playing the music, I think I did the lyric in my head. I was like, this fits perfect. Yeah, okay. And I went in, and I think it might have been one take. I think it was one take. Like, mic's good, boom, did it. No reading, nothing, straight away. And I love it. I love that track. I love them guys for allowing me on that track there. And that was, I think that Simone, at that time, that was my favorite performance that she had known about. That that was her favorite one. But yeah, that was important right there. Yeah. I'm really proud of that. I'm really happy that I'm on that for the rest of my life. I'm really happy about that.
No, it was a dope tune as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
so
It was
big up D to the K.
Absolutely.
Big up Can, big up Dexter.
Absolutely. Big up to them too, man, right?
I just mentioned Public Enemy. There was a reason I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And the reason was because there was a special moment that, they were looking. You tell the story.
It's mad. Okay, so when Public Enemy first came to the UK, and they were doing
that was '87.
Yeah, and they were doing Shepherd's Bush Empire, right, with LL Cool J, and was it Houdini that one, or was it
I think that was the one with Houdini, because
Yeah.
then the year later they came with
Was it Beastie Boys?
Beastie Boys,
Yeah.
and I think that one was Hammersmith Odeon.
Right. So, oh, this one was Hammersmith as well. I
Okay,
said
all
Shelved,
right.
it was Hammersmith as well.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
And I
I
remember,
forget, man. We're getting old,
yeah,
bro.
come on. And I remember the police, you know, were all out there. They were harassing people, like, because public enemy. So the police coming to just like make it just worse than it is. No one was trouble. No one was causing any
No
trouble.
one's causing trouble.
Anyway.
I mean, bro, a few people got robbed of their tickets outside.
Yeah,
Like, that
you know
was
what I mean?
normal.
Because that, yeah,
So-
you know. And in the end, I got to see that concert. I have no money. All of us got to see that concert. By the way, there's a photograph that Normski took, right? It's me, DJ Business, Denzel, and others of us. I don't have pogos in it. Well, we're all there. This picture, we're outside Hammersmith, right? A little after that, we rushed the door because we couldn't get in. It was sold out. And so we rushed the door and got to see the concert, right?
And big up Normski as well.
A big up Normski, man.
Every day.
And please, people, get his book, right?
Yes.
So then, after the concert, PE come out and they met with us and others, and we went under the flyover, the Hammersmith flyover underneath with Chuck. And like, some of the naughty boys was hanging with Flavor. And then the S1Ws with Chuck and with us, and we're building knowledge, right? And Chuck says, like, look, the goal of Public Enemy is to make 10 albums, right? And to create 10,000 potential leaders around the planet. They had a proper mission. And so when we sat, we was with them, we was with Chuck for a couple of hours. It changed my life. It changed all of our lives. And I knew at that time, I want to be one of those 10,000 leaders. I have to be. You know what I mean? This is confirmation again, what's happening here. And I tell you to this day, Chuck D is somebody who has always, he's never forgotten me, man. He's like, to me, Chuck D is like my elder blood brother. He must be like this for thousands of other men, right?
He's like that for me, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
I mean, I don't know him the same way you do. I've met him a few times
Yeah.
and whatever, but
Yeah.
yo, the love he shows everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. He's an inspirational man, you understand?
So he knows the history of everyone in all the other countries.
Knows, man, he knows.
He knows.
He knows. And that same concert was when he was on stage and he said like London or the UK is the home of real hip hop, like that. And it upset a lot of people in America, a lot of people around the place.
But don't forget, also on the album,
Yeah.
when they done that,
Yeah.
that was the live segment that
Yes.
was taken from the show. We do all that.
See, I mean, this is what I'm trying to say, man. If Chuck believing what he's believing in, you're going to believe in it because he's going to stand by that, right? And what I'm saying is that was inspirational for all of us. And that was one of the things that also nudged my direction. We talk about consciousness when we say rap. That's the word people use, conscious rap, right? But it was everything in it. It was cultural, it was social, it was road, it was intellectual, it was party fun, it was all this, that, and the other. But like you said, I wasn't going to be talking too tough, you know what I mean? Like, you know, get your titties out, get your battery out, get your gunny out, get the money, gold, digga. No, I'm not going to do nothing like that too tough. You know what I mean?
So you getting to meet Chuck and have that conversation, pretty much, maybe even set you on that path to be the conscious person.
It was one of the major things that set me on that path. It helped crystallize the direction, you understand? Here's a man telling you their program is 10 albums, 10,000 leaders around the planet, and they're going for it. See, that's what helped to make Dett Incorporated something firm. That's very inspirational. That's that thing of seeing a unit works.
So in 1988, you signed a deal with Republic Records. Then obviously you had a couple of records released on there. What happened with Republic?
Oh, well, Republic was a subsidiary to Fair Trade Records. Right? Is it Fair Trade? What it called? You know that
Rough Trade.
Rough Trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rough Trade. So you know, the Smiths were signed to them as well, and the thing, Bjork's group and all that. So Republic Records got made by Dave Lee, and he made that because he wanted to be like putting out Chicago house and garage as well as some, and Detroit garage and stuff he specialised in. So he was licensing those tunes and putting them out and was killing it. So they didn't have any artists signed, but they were licensing some artists from the States were kind of exclusive. But I was the first one to be signed.
And that was with
First
Busy
artist to
Rhyming.
sign. Yeah, and we recorded Busy Rhyming and that. So Republic Records was a subsidiary to Rough Trade, which was the biggest kind of indie kind of...
Still is, I think.
Yeah, and Dave Lee formed Republic Records, and the main thing he was doing was licensing Detroit and Chicago garage and house, getting real great tunes and artists and licensing those. He's doing lots of 7-inch, house tunes and stuff, but he was also producing tunes as well, right? And Dave Lee was a DJ, playing music, and he's been in the music thing for the longest time. So yeah, I was the first, and maybe actually the only artist to sign as an artist. And it was a great deal. It was a 50-50 deal, and they were great with me. They let me do my thing. They believed in me. And that was I was very happy with Republic Records. But Republic Records ended really because, you had a big financial crash around 1990 into 91 kind of thing. And Rough Trade, I think they went into receivership. And so Republic ended, which was pretty sad because really I was very happy with that label. But here's one thing about it, right? My song, Open Up Your Mind, that song, right, was produced by Blacksmiths, by the way, yeah? Big up Blacksmiths, you know what I mean? And that song was being played everywhere. Everyone was loving it. So, you get the 6 weeks white label lead up, right? And it's time to release it. And the first week it got released, it went straight to number 60 in the national chart, normal chart. The only reason it didn't go top 40, because the demand was there, was because they didn't print enough copies. They didn't think it was going to do what it would have done. So that one decision, so then when they printed up the rest of the copies now, it's staying around that 60 thing because the next lot of copies is 2 weeks and then 2. So if they just done the bulk, would have been in the top 40, which would have meant Radio 1 playlist, which would have meant Top of the Pops, which would have changed everything. So that's one of those little things that we all regret. You know what I mean? I was a bit upset. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is. Republic Records. I love Republic Records. I love what they did for me. I love what we did together.
After Republic Records, I mean, that's a shame that I didn't know about, the lack of product and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And all I remember was hearing the record and just thinking it was amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was being played everywhere. And
but you know what? That's
and
not
we never had a video for it, by the way.
Yeah, back in those days, a lot of people didn't, But that, as much as I love that song, it wasn't my favorite song of yours.
Yeah.
For me, it's between Subtraction, Open Up Your, not Open Up, Total Eclipse of the Heart, and Our Time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Those are some of my favorites on there as well.
Yeah, they're my favorite. But I do like the personality, the humor that you drop in, Slipped on Doo-Doo, and things like that as well.
Yes.
So where I say you don't talk foolishness, I lied. He talks foolishness.
Yeah, when I'm ready. Yeah, but I chatted it nice.
But it's kind of, it's done in a humorous way.
Yeah.
No, so then there was this lull moment where not much was going on. But in terms of lull, what I mean is record company, because that shut down, and then you started conversations with Funky Dread.
Yes. So when the Republic thing ended, it ended around, I think, the album came out in 90. I say it ended 91. All right? But within 91, I had signed a deal with Funky Dread and started recording. And so by 92, the first album, Revelation 1, Thoughts released. Yeah. The second album, Revelation 2, Thoughts Increased, was fully recorded and mixed. And it was time to put this record out, and that would have came out in 92. And I'll tell you something, Fab Five Freddy and I can't remember the brother's name. He was the manager for there was an R&B group over here that was like Jodeci, man. These guys are going to be upset. I can't remember their name. But he was managing them and managing some bigger artists as well. He might have been managing Jodeci even, I think. I can't remember. But they were in Jazzy's studio. And Jazzy played them my album. And I was sitting in the studio. And Jazzy didn't tell him it's me. So they're listening. Each track is going on. And he didn't even like say, yo, listen to this album. They were just chilling in the studio, chatting, right? There's some people with him. So he just plays from the first one, let it play. They're chatting. By the second track now, they're chatting less. By the third track, man, they're nodding their head, going like, yo, damn. By the fourth track, they're like, what the f*** is this? And the dad is like, this is MC Mell'O, this MC Mell'O, the artist I'm signing. They're like, damn, man, what's going on? What's going on with this? They were excited. Freddie was excited. And he goes, where is this guy? And he goes, he's sitting there. And they were like, get the fuck out of here, man. They were like, him? I was like, yeah. Sitting quiet, calm, right? And they came over and go, it's you for real? Goes, yeah. They're like, yo, man, you're supposed to be sound like that. You're supposed to be 6'4", 250 pounds. Like, that's you? I'm like, yeah, because I'm a giant inside of here. I could sit quiet in the studio like you listen to I'm a giant.
Again, we go back to Public Enemy.
Right.
Right.
And so what Freddie and the other brothers said, they goes, yo, Jazzy B, you're sitting on a platinum album here. What's going on?
So hold on. Was that the second album or the first?
The second album.
Okay, the one that never came out?
The one that never came out. With songs like Mell'O's Gone Crazy is on that. And Firm Stance. The White Label came out with 3 songs on it, right? That was just 3 of the songs. Very proud of this. It has the essence of the first album, but we expanded bigger, right? And the third album was going to be Revelation 3, Thoughts Unleashed, and that was where I wasn't going to be holding back at all. But the second album, recorded, done, mixed, mastered, everything, didn't come out. Because at that time, that economic crash was going on, and Funky Dread Motown, which it was because Jazzy B had been given Motown for the UK and had the financial backing because Soul to Soul blocked the world. The Motown guys was like, yo, we need you to be Motown UK and Europe. Jazzy B, you're global, you can do it. And so they gave him all of the backing for that to happen. But at that time there was the economic crash, and Motown, they kind of went under. A lot of labels went under. And it meant that Funky Dread would have to finance itself with the big budget that they'd been given. It was been given a big budget. It was like, yo, you still got that budget, finance your shit. Make that label profitable for yourself. But I believe at that time, Soul to Soul was on their 3rd album release. And by that time, Karen Wheeler had left. Rosewind Ross wasn't there anymore. Nelly Hooper, who, when it comes to the music, was one of the key people, right? He's gone. And other key people were gone. The 3rd album didn't do very well at all. And I think that Jazzy, it brought him down a bit. The enthusiasm he had and all that wasn't there like that. And the people around that made the whole Soul Funky Dread thing strong weren't there either. And in that period of time, also, for him to release these songs, my songs and other songs, he would have had to take from the budget and pay the promoters, pay the marketing, pay for the video, all those kind of things. You have to do that because you make that back from yourselves, right? It's business. But it was like he felt people were trying to get more money out of him because he's Jazzy B and Motown. But I don't think so. Because people like Sandra Scotty, she was doing the promotion and marketing for many artists, and she was properly reasonably priced. She's done her job really good. But I remember she wanted to do that work for me, and Jazzy wasn't really having it. So what happened was my second album got shelved. I think a singer, Toyin, a Lovers Rock reggae artist, she got shelved. In my mind, it's saying the 3rd guy was Peter Hunningale. I'm not sure. But if it was or wasn't, that got shelved. So instead of just letting the artists go with their songs, they got shelved, like sitting there gathering dust. And that's the same period of time when all the independent labels was getting bought up by the majors. Yeah, and the acid jazz thing was coming to an end. They bought up all the independents and then shelved all the artists. So they just took them out of the mix. And then the house chart, hip hop chart, R&B chart, all them charts got turned into the dance chart. That was that whole period, a whole shut out and breakup of our thing.
Finish this sentence.
Yeah.
Mell'O, why are you cursing?
Because I'm fucking angry.
That's where it all stemmed from, right?
Yeah, in Dark and Sinister.
We'll talk about that in a second.
We ain't got much time, but I gotta say that Dark and Sinister, the song that, me and you, we can talk further in a bit. But yeah, there's certain things I'm saying in there which is kind of directed at Jazzy, you know what I mean? And if people listen to it, they can hear it. Because I was angry, man, and it's like, at that period of time as well, I got a second album out here that the whole world is waiting for. I got mans like 555 Fred and other people telling Jazzy, you're sitting on a platinum album, get it out. The momentum was there, I was doing shows, but then there came a period where it was a lull. And there was a period of time when I didn't even, because a quarter of my money was still held by the label, supposed to give me on completion, and was refusing to give it to me. So I've paid every artist that's been involved, every producer, every DJ, every rapper, every singer. I didn't pay myself, so I wanted to make sure it's done. But then that quarter of that money is there, and I can't get access to it. And life was financially hard, you see.
Yeah, we were talking at the time, so I was hearing all of this.
Yeah, so when I come on to do that, we did that record together.
Before we go there, though,
Yeah.
I just want to say that, you were doing some massive things at the time, and, there was a lot of us that were rooting for you.
Yeah.
I know you were working behind the scenes with Karen Wheeler.
Yeah.
You went on tour with Gangstar, Manu Dibango. There was a whole bunch of things going on. So those were major highlights. So everything was shaping up for this to be explosive.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
You got it.
Right? So I can understand the frustration.
Yes.
Now, let's go into, I don't want to make this about me, so it's not going to be about me, but I just want to say, I hit the studio. Yeah. And we were recording, me and No Sleep Nigel at Joe's Garage. Also, before we even do that, we used to share the studio, not obviously at the same time, but cold storage.
That's right.
We all recorded there, me, you, and we had a little argument there.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story?
Okay, so, it's a bit embarrassing for me, you understand, right, bro, to this day. But basically, like, that what we did at Dett, Tremental, was a hook line. And then you came out with your song. I don't know.
Put your ears to the one. Come on.
That's what it was, that one. Okay, right? And what actually happened was certain individuals got in my ear saying, man's biting your style and doing that, right? And they were going on and on and on about that thing and pushing it. And I was like, all right, well, okay, all right, maybe so. I talk with him when I see him with chat. And I think, to my mind, you're going to probably remember this better than me, because to be honest with you, sometimes I forget the things I'm not proud of. So you would probably know that better than I would. But I know that I confronted you about it. And I do remember after we spoke, I just weren't feeling good about what I'd done. You understand what I'm saying? But if you remember better, tell me.
Yeah, I remember better.
Yeah.
I remember you came to the studio.
Yeah.
And you asked me to come outside, and we had a conversation. And then you told me to remove the intro.
Oh my God, did I?
And and I said, I'm not removing it.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation back and forth, and I think maybe Nigel got involved at some point. I don't remember, really? But I think Nigel verified that he never played me the track. The track wasn't even out yet.
Okay.
Right, yeah, so I hadn't heard your track.
Right.
It was just pure coincidence that I did something similar.
Yeah.
Right, and it was around the same time.
Yeah, it was very close to the same time.
So so your track wasn't out, mine wasn't out. We were recording. You were just recording. You were in mixing stages, whatever. Anyway, that happened. You asked me to remove the intro, and I refused.
Yeah.
And
right,
if anything,
to refuse.
Right, and because I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. And if anything, that cemented our friendship more.
Yeah, because after, bruh, you know what? I let people rile me up into something and make me think something was what it wasn't. And after that, it was, for me, it was shameful for me.
Bro,
Personally,
what I remember,
for me personally, after that, I felt shamed and I felt that I wronged you.
what it was is what I respected about it was that you actually came and said to me, I respect you for standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
there's like a whole bunch of you and I'm on my own kind of thing, you know what I mean? But that was it. And you know, like I said, I didn't do anything wrong, so I didn't see any need to change
exactly.
it. But we had a grown up conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't arguments as such.
No, and after that, you went up in my estimation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for real.
And you know, we connected early in Covent Garden. I
Yeah.
used to beatbox in your
Early
ear.
days.
So that we ended up bringing that into the conversation and
yeah.
saying, "Yo, remember me? I was in Covent."
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, look, I never forgot that because I told people this, right? The first time I saw you in Covent, you were standing by yourself. I noticed that, right? Because I'm very observant. I watch everything around me. I'm from Battersea. You better be looking at everything around
have
me.
to be in it.
I'm watching everything. And I saw that you were standing there a lot, sometimes by yourself. You know, everyone had crews and stuff. And I came up to you. And I remember that. I remember talking to you. And was that when you said you beatbox? And you beatbox for me, right?
Yeah.
And you beatbox properly. But you was, at the time I was thinking, man, this guy's spitting, man. He's spitting in my ears. But all beatboxers did that, I think, in the early days. But yeah, you were beatboxing. And one thing I said as well, I said, all right, let me hear it. There was no hesitation. Like, you were strong on it. Boom. And you were a proper beatbox. You know what I'm saying? And I was just saying, I noticed that the first time I noticed you, took note of you properly. And I never forgot you from that. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, can't remember everyone else's first meetings, you know. Only a few, blatantly remember that.
Because of the spitting, innit?
No, because of the standing. I saw a brother who was there kind of on it by himself. And no one's with him. So I'm like, nah, I'm coming over, not to be, who are you? I'm coming over to check you, to be like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? It was like that.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man.
But moving forward to the dark and sinister, though.
Yeah.
Basically, I was in the studio.
Yeah.
So here's the story. I was in the studio, phone rings. If you were in Joe's garage, then you'd know that the studio's there and the phone's outside in the little lobby area, right? I hit a phone ring. I go and answer it, and it was you.
Right.
And you go, yo, can I speak to Nigel?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, who's this? And you go, it's Mell'O. I'm like, yo, Mell'O, it's Blade. What's up? You know, and then you go, when are we going to do a track? And I went, what are you doing now? And that was, you know, I had different plans. I had to rewrite the lyrics. So we rewrote the lyrics in the studio.
Yeah, I
and,
just the bus
came down straight
jumped on the
away.
buses and came down there.
You came down straight away.
Wrote that up together.
It wasn't planned.
Yeah.
And we just wrote that track. And you told me about the frustrations with Jazzy B.
Yeah.
And, you know, Funky Dread as the label and everything. And that was the birth of Dark and Sinister.
That was, man. And what a birth it was, man.
It's one of my favorite collaborations I've ever done.
It's mine too, brother.
So, you know what? It probably is actually my favorite collaboration. You know? And my second favorite collaboration is probably with Frida. You know, that changed my life, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But in terms of the...
Dark and Sinister. And then we did the show at the Marquee, right?
With Stereo MC support.
Yeah, man.
We were supporting Stereo MCs.
Yeah.
And you came in, tore the place down.
We both tore that place up to pieces, man.
Ridiculous.
That track is amazing, man. And when you told me that there's something where it got voted, if you're gonna go and do a mission or some darkness or
fight
something,
or
going for a fight or whatever, the best song to listen.
It was about, I think it was 79% said Dark and Sinister.
Yeah.
And when I say 79%, I'm talking at that time. It was a couple of thousand people voting.
Yeah.
You know, on the forum.
If you got to do a dark move and that, what music would you play to get in the mood to get you there? Dark and Sinister.
It had to be. Yeah, it had to be.
People knew the fun we had in the studio, innit, bro? There was a lot of laughter, right? But that song, proper, like, gully darkness, man.
Bro, it was from the second that bass line comes in. And like, people don't know, but that was my hair clippers.
Really?
Yeah, that bass line was my hair clippers. So, yeah,
I didn't
created that. Talking about labels and everything, obviously, things fell apart with Jazzy. Yeah, for whatever reason you've explained. But then you did a release not long after that with Natural Response.
Yes.
If I remember, Stereos called me up and they were talking about, you know, me doing something with them. And I said, I'm not really ready. How about Mell'O? And then, do you remember that?
I think so, yeah. And the other thing is that, like, I used to go around Stereos and chill with them, right?
Yeah.
Because when they went to Russia to do a show in 1888, and it was still like the wall was up. It was still full communism. I had a chance to go, but for some reason it didn't happen, and then we was all together while it was being arranged. So I used to go like to Rob. I used to go and chill with Rob and Head a lot. To drive around his Mercedes car. I really like them guys, right? And that was before the label thing. So yeah, I think you hit them up and said, well, you thought about Mell'O or whatever. And I had known them and done things with them before in certain situations. But yeah, they had won that year or the year before. They won the Brits, right?
Yeah.
And they got a lot of props.
Yeah.
And so Natural Response was like, yeah, what's the name of the major label again? That I forgot the name. The major label that.
Oh, Island.
It wasn't Island. It was
BMG.
Yeah, but something BMG. I can't remember that one. Forget it. But yeah, so they gave them that label. You know, you guys are going to run this label, and they had to work at Keith Cooper.
Oh yeah.
Who from the original G Street, I think, was in there to manage it, and you know, Rob and Head, okay, Stereos, weren't so involved in the business. That was Keith Cooper. And unfortunately, Keith, it wasn't the one. It wasn't the one.
I mean,
none of the artists on that label were happy, unfortunately. And they had a budget and everything. But I still got a couple of EPs out during that time. So
I Hear Voices was the first one.
Yes, I Hear Voices. And even with I Hear Voices, we had a video for that.
I don't think I've ever seen the video.
Yeah, you can go online, you can watch it. It's a good video, right?
Okay. Well, I don't know.
We had a really low budget, right? When you see this video, understand that we had like a $4,000 budget.
Can I just take this opportunity as well to just say, like, you know, I've met a lot of people through the music industry, but none that I can say that I love and respect more than Stereo MCs.
Yeah, man.
You know, those guys, good people, big hearts, always trying to help people, bring people in and whatever.
Yeah, and people shit on them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
good people, man.
I knew you already knew them, but it's just when we were having a conversation, it was a simple, have you thought about Mell'O?
I'm grateful for that, because sometimes it's just that little point of that, something like that. Have you thought about Mell'O? Like, hang on a minute, wait a minute, what? He's not, oh, that could, you know? And before they hadn't thought to do it that way. So, yeah, man, I give thanks for that kind of thing completely. And I had those songs came out and they did their little thing, but the label didn't back me. Who was it, man? They had Omar, Michelle Gell, Wu-Tang Clan was coming out for them. It slipped my mind, but I'll tell you one story. When Wu-Tang was coming over here for the first time, I reckon more than 60% of the staff phoned in sick. Seriously, I'm not joking. Like, I got DJ Swing, the A&R job in there. Before DJ Swing worked in there, there's only one black person working there, and she's the secretary. All right? This is a big, massive, like 18-story business thing for this label. Big, massive building. And it's the one person there. Then Swing came in, and he did a lot of good as well. But yeah, it was like, I'm there as an artist trying to get them to understand and believe in what I'm doing so I can back it. Even the video was $4,000. The cameraman was one of the cameramen who films only like the videos for White Snake and them stadium things.
Wow.
Right? Blake Bedford was the guy he was the director. And we sat together and it was my idea. We went through what I needed to see, storyboarded it. This man, with the $4,000, did everything it's supposed to be how it was. You know, he got it all in the places.
Made it look like
he's a master for real. And the guy who pressed play and stop on that recording so we can do the thing. I forgot it. Oliver, I think his name was. So Blake brought in the biggest people to do it for £100, right? We make this video, they edit it, it's wicked. I'm going to New York for the seminar, so I want to bring the video with me. Wicked. So it's a few days before we're going to go. I said, let me just check the video, because I had early copies. They was giving it a fish one. I put it in. The label went and re-edited the video again, and then took it and made it light. It's supposed to be the dark and light. Re-edited it, made it look ridiculous. Didn't tell me. And when I played this video and saw what they did to it, I had to phone Blake, right? And Blake, this is what Blake did. This guy was away filming either a series or documentary or a movie. He knew I had a certain amount of days before I go to New York and I want this video with me. My man came back and re-edited it back and got the copies and got it to me.
Big
They
up
ain't
Blake.
finished. The label didn't do anything to get the video played anywhere. Right? So what happened? Blake spoke to Oliver, the tape guy. Oliver just happens to work for MTV. He just took a day off to press the... This is how much I've got people, you understand, doing the right thing. Oliver's like, what? Don't worry. So then he got Richie Rich playing it, got other people at MTV playing the video. If he didn't do that, my video would never got played. It's made. All the labels got to do is insist. All their other artists got on MTV and everything. So, you know, there was some things like this, brother. Some against me type of things.
Always. This is the industry we're in, right?
Yeah, I mean...
And you've had that all throughout
I've had it
your
all the
career.
time, because I think one of the main things is that they're saying that they want commercial stuff, right?
But then why sign you?
Exactly, man. And the thing about it is, commercial doesn't just mean make it easy listening, this is the bubblegum hip-hop. Commercial means that it's received by a great lot of people. You understand? And I know if you market my things and let people know it's there, they're going to be feeling it.
You're that person that could do that over and over, right? But the problem is, like, we're always left to deal with our own devices. We're always left to argue with record labels and all that kind of stuff, because there's always some kind of complication.
I also think as well that you had people in these record labels that wasn't from us. They didn't know how to market a thing.
Bro,
when we're telling them what we know, they would have to trust. Look, we've been doing this for God knows how many years, right? Why can't you just believe us?
Yeah.
Just trust us.
Instead of trying to change us.
And you'll see what will happen.
Instead of trying to be control freaks.
Yeah. But that's the thing, innit? The egos. You see, like, in them labels, I'm not going to the pub with you. I'm not having a couple lines of Charlie with you. I'm not chasing panty with you. I'm here to do my music thing. And because I'm not here doing all these things with you, coming like I'm not kind of down, am I? Oh, yeah? But I walk into the label, and when I walk into the label, it's like I'm Norm from Cheers, right? I walk in, Mell'O! Right? Because I'm bringing something in there. I'm making the people whose normal day in the label, I'm making them feel valued and happy. But the actual label itself, do you know I got signed as well? This is something important for you to know. I don't know if you know this. There was a roundtable discussion with ID magazine. You had Fatboy Slim, George Michael, Boy George, the CEO of the label, I don't know how I can't remember the label. It's a big label, like Arista or BMG one, it's a big label. And all famous heads in this tech. And then there's me. And I'm sitting there thinking, right, what am I doing here? These are all international stars and me. And the discussion's going on. And the head of the label, the CEO lady, is talking about music. And then Fatboy Slim just goes, well, yeah, but like, if that's the case, you've got a person sitting right here. This is MC, this person sitting right here. He's one of the biggest talents we got going right now. And he's not even signed. And she's like, well, I don't even know who his name. I don't even know his name. And his Fatboy Slim like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should know his name. This is MC Mell'O. I think you need to meet with him. You'll need a meeting. And Boy George backed that up too. Because I'd done a couple of Boy George's shows, in the guest a couple of times. He backed that up too. And other people was also saying, yeah, sorry, right.
Big up Fatboy Slim and Boy George.
Yeah. And you know, Fatboy Slim, he passed, innit? Like, he passed away. Like,
when?
A few months ago. I'm sure of it.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah? Got another check.
So. No, I never heard that. We would have heard it.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't have heard that.
Guys, I hope he hasn't.
I hope he hasn't.
That's what I heard.
No.
So, within a few weeks.
Hey,
Hey!
still alive.
I hope he's.
61 years old.
I hope he sees this, right? So within a few weeks, I had a meeting with them, and they must have checked out my credentials, and I was able to sign, and that, yeah, I signed to them, yeah, and actually that's the thing, that was also related to Natural Response, you know, because they were the major label for Natural Response.
What you need to understand is everyone that crossed paths with you that I know loved you for the music, for the person that you are and were. You know what I mean? And it's no surprise that doors opened up the way they did. It's just a shame that doors closed because somebody else is along the way all the time.
And you know the score be, if we knew what we know now, or if we had proper management, proper legitimate management.
I know you said you didn't want to talk about a previous manager because he passed, but you know,
but if we
things
had
could have been done
proper
different.
Yes, yeah, you know what I mean. That's important.
You know what? Like, we're running out of time, and I've got a choice of whether to ask you about you working with Mark B. On Mell'O is the Man, right, or to ask you about the book that you're featured in, which was originally set up as a documentary. But I think because like it's a more current story and more to do with your future, I'd prefer to hear quickly about Unstoppable and
Unstoppable is a documentary about the UK hip hop history in the golden age, golden era, like 85 to 91, 92 maybe. It has a focus in Covent from that angle, but it spreads out to more places and more individuals talking. This documentary is amazing, but it never got released because sample clearances and the original style came out of that. So all of the interviews, and it's an oral history, right? Because it's like all of the people telling their oral stories. And G Unit, Giuseppe Pipatone, the Don Gorgon, King Italiano. He put that together, and I really encourage people to check that book out. Original style. It's the definitive story of us, but it's just it's deeper than us. You'll find you in it as well. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a big thing.
You obviously done a track with Arrow as well.
Yeah,
give
man,
them what they
give
want.
them what
That
they
was
want. That's one of the mix and the cut at the end weren't the best, but the song, the lyrics, the energy is one of my favorite songs.
wicked.
Yeah, big up Arrow and the whole Brighton crew.
Bro, have you got any final words?
Man, I just want to tell everybody, keep doing what you're doing. If what you're doing is positive, believe in what you're doing. I'm coming with new stuff for next year. I hope you back it, spread it around, share it, and support me.
MC Mell'O, one of my favorite MCs of all time, not just UK, of all time. I remember people were coming back to my place and whatever, and I was always putting on the record because I had the album and I had the singles and everything. And, you know, this is what I'm saying. From the second we're going into that whole mode of detrimental, bro, neighbors were complaining. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Because the music had to get blasted. But anyway, guys.
Can I just say, if there's time, respect for doing that, bro. Respect for doing that, because a lot of the artists of our generation from London, they never played my album, all right? They just didn't. But I played everyone's, your album, Hijack. I used to listen to everyone's, right? Now, this is funny, because this brother, I got nothing but deep love for my guy here, right? I'm talking about Ice Pick. And I think it was about 10 years ago, 10 years ago, Ice Pick goes, raw, Mell'O, man, your album was dope. I goes, what? He goes, I just listened to it. You know what I'm saying? So people who have never listened to it, I encourage them, go listen to it now. Because like, I got guys who are in their 20s and they were coming to me in the gym saying things like, yo, I heard this song, Open Up Your Mind. And like, my dad said, it's you. And I'm like, yeah. And it's like, when did it come out? I'm like, when do you think it come out? It's like 4 years ago. I'm like, no, dude. No,
it's like,
no, dude. Yeah. Try 34 years ago.
Yeah.
And they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's mad.
And the youngers now are listening to the album and penning the lyrics and going, everything you're saying
is reference.
is what's happening now.
It's now, isn't it?
So
That's
I
what happens
encourage
when you
people to
talk.
go on this.
That's when you talk conscious,
yeah,
and that's the important thing.
yeah.
And you know, you mentioned Ice Pick. I got to big up Ice Pick obviously
Big
as
up
well,
Ice Pick.
because you know what? I mean, I'm a fan anyway from
You know
early,
what I
right?
mean?
All I know is the entrance to his career. You know, from
Oh, God.
enter the tour. That
Yeah.
was it. We just knew he
Yeah.
wasn't playing about.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I also got to say that my cameraman, when I was trying to get him into UK hip hop, the first record I played him was one of Ice Pick's records.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my cameraman straight away went, I love this. I'm in. And now he's gone from some pop whatever to being a fan of hip hop and stuff. So yeah, you know.
You know that.
You were playing Ice Pick on video as well.
See,
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna say something about Ice Pick. There's just a few MCs that I will say this about, right? But Ice Pick is one of the MCs that put a frighteners in me. Like
He's
he
scary,
was so
it's that
brilliant.
delivery.
His lyrics, the whole thing,
Everything.
That's one man. I'm not a guy. I don't like battling. I don't mind going rhyme for rhyme with people, but the battling side, like, I don't. If you stand in my face and say something wrong, you're gonna hear boop with the mic. You understand? So I prefer we just kick it, but not the back. But Ice Pick, ferocious. That brother, and like we've done work together because we had a crew called ATG Against the Grain. We made an EP. And the members of ATG is Estelle. She wanted the name Stella V for this thing. DJ Business. Basim, Basmatic, Chancellor of the Flex Checker. And the Most High bless his soul. Grizzly. Don E was doing the music as well. Obviously myself, and this crew, we made like I think 5 tunes, and we put that out as it's under Against the Grain. We did a song called Time Bombed, where we used the same music that Public Enemy for Time Bomb, and we done our own tune where we're using the patterns of Chuck, you know what I mean, and that song. Over in East London, Hackney Wick or something, they have them festivals. And this was the 3-day festival, and the last act on that 3-day festival was Public Enemy closing the night. And Chuck insisted, you're going to do Time Bombed on the stage with us and Public Enemy. Yeah? Sick. And so that's another one of them magic moments. Yeah. Thousands of people, and we're rocking on stage with Public Enemy, the S1s, everybody. And that was when we made that crew. It was like a studio situation that came about. We assembled everybody, amalgamation. We made those songs, and we recorded these 6 songs in 2 days. Every lyric was written from scratch as well. But Ice Pick's got a lyric on there.
He was deadly anyway.
Very bad.
He's sick, and he's never lost it. Like even with all the recent stuff he's been doing with Supreme, amazing, bro. Anyway, that's our little way of saying big up Ice Pick, and obviously big up Supreme as well.
Big up.
And Ice-T for being on one of the videos as well, and one of the tracks as well.
Man,
sick track.
I remember both those 2 Ices represented hard on there, man. Nuts. Big up HQ, like big up London Posse, big up like
Hijack, everybody.
Hijack, you know what I mean? Like Demon Boys, Monie, you know what I mean?
Hard Noise.
Fingers, Hard Noise, Son of Noise, Fingers, the whole crew. Big up, you know what I mean? Nottingham, Birmingham, Manchester, Wolverhampton, B-Boys, you know, Hanifa, big up all the
writers, all the DJs, all the B-Boys, all the rappers, everybody, all the beatboxers.
Who were there supporting, who might not be in the art, but their heart was in it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't happen without them there. So big up all of them, man.
So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please make sure you go and follow Mell'O on his social media pages. I'm going to put all the links in the description below. And as well as that, please go and check out the book, which is London Original Style. And if the documentary ever comes out, make sure you go and check out Unstoppable as well. Okay, so Giuseppe, wicked for doing that, putting it together. And yeah, just everybody, if you want to find out about what the culture was about back in the days, and it's something you do need to know, because you have to know your past to know your future. Okay? So make sure you check those out. But yeah, Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive the notifications, like, share, and get involved in the comment section below. And we'll see you when the next episode goes live. Take care. Peace. Mell'O, thank you very much, bro.
Yes, my brother. It's a pleasure, man. Thank you, man. It's been many years in the making, but we're here now with this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some more. And by the way, I'm going to hold Blade to this, okay? Because he said yes. He said yes, okay? And I'm saying yes. And you're witnessing it, yeah? Next year, 2025, Mell'O and Blade are coming with some tunes.
I'm
We've
ready,
been speaking
bro.
about doing it for about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20,000 years. We're doing it, okay?
I've always told him I'm ready. Just let me know when.
Yeah,
It's you, bro.
Yeah, I'm ready now.
Let's do it now.
Yeah. So support that when that comes.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
Peace.